There you go. Take a look
Hello,
inside.
hello.
Listen
Good
for what's
morning,
there.
good afternoon.
And you came
I'm
to
gonna
see
let
the
this
sight
play for a
below.
while because there's nothing that brings me more joy than Christmas. I don't know what happens
Towards
to me.
every soul.
So,
But
are
with the
you
sight
like,
to see
first
is
of
the
all,
holly
let me
that
play the
will
song.
gleam on your own front
I'm not gonna
door.
sing.
A pair of long boots and
Oh,
shoes.
it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Definitely is. And if you are from the Caribbean, you know this. Like for us, we start playing Christmas carols in October. I'm a bit late this year, but there's nothing like the feel and joy of Christmas, at least for me. I feel very energized. And so today for Wear It Wednesday, I wanted to come with a little bit more energy, a little bit more of my personality that you don't get to see a lot on camera, or maybe you've never met me in person and you don't get to see this side of me. I don't always bring out this side of me. Being an introvert, it takes a lot sometimes just to be myself. And I know after this I'll decompress. I need to decompress. I'll take a moment. But Christmas always brings me joy. So thank you very much for joining me today. If you are here live, thank you for being here. Let me know in the chat where you connecting from. Like, how are you feeling about the holidays? Is the holidays something that you like super geeked out and like ready for? And what are some of your family traditions that you do during the holidays that you look forward to? And if you are watching the replay, thank you very much for coming back and for being here. Again, let me know in the chat as well if you're here watching the replay, that you are here watching the replay. And of course, let me know what are some family traditions that you're looking forward to, or that you have, that you really enjoy during the Christmas season. This is another episode of Weird Wednesdays. This is where we talk about how to take your professional look and image to the next level in an authentic way. And if that's something that you're looking to do, then you're definitely in the right place. And so, before I kick off today's conversation, as always, I always like to do these wellness check in to see how you're doing, to see how you're feeling. So, if you can share with me, oh, I just cracked my knuckles. If you can share with me in the chat, like, how are you feeling today? How's your week going so far? Again, if you want to share, like, what are some things that you're looking forward to with the holiday seasons? Maybe even your favorite song. I don't think I have a favorite song. I just love Christmas songs. I think like one of my favorite movies for the Christmas season that I really like. I grew up with it, so I guess that's one of the reasons why I like it that much, is Home Alone, and it always brings me joy. It always puts me in a very happy mood. It brings out another side of me, like that extrovert side that I wish I had every single day. And so let me know in the chat, like, how are you feeling? What are you looking forward to? And if you're new to this space, I'm Salida Roberts. I'm the founder of Style to Impact. And I want to thank you very much for joining me today for today's conversation. I thought about, like, in terms of when we're getting dressed, right? What are some of the things that you struggle with when you're getting dressed, right? And I was having a conversation with a very close friend of mine. We usually meet on Tuesdays and we connect and talk about, our challenges, our victories, things that we are looking forward to, things that we're celebrating. And we're talking about the act of getting dressed and what that means to get dressed every single day. And I've also seen it in the comments as well. Like, women will say things like, no one will see me, right? And so we were talking about, how is it I get up every single day and get dressed? And, you know, I'm going to be honest, it's not, when I think about getting dressed, I don't think about it as I need to get dressed to do something. It's more of what it's part of life. It's part of what I have to do every single day. And so oftentimes when you're thinking about getting dressed and you're struggling with the idea of getting dressed, it's not what you think it is, right? And so I want to know from you, like, what comes to mind, or what do you feel whenever you are thinking about getting dressed? Whenever you get up in the morning and you have to get ready for work, or not you're working at home, or you're commuting to work, you're taking the kids to school, like when you walk into your closet, what are some of the thoughts that comes to mind for you, or feelings that come to mind for you? So let me know that in the chat. And so going back to the conversation that I had with my close friend yesterday, is that some of the things that will come to mind, it's like, first of all, no one will see me, right? I see that in my comment section a lot here on LinkedIn. It's like, why even get dressed, right? No one will see me. I'm working from home. I've been working from home all my life, or I just started working from home. So why even bother getting dressed? Um, Another thing that I've seen, and it's the discomfort with your body. So you walk into your closet, and because you don't feel confident with your body, it's like, there's nothing in my closet that fits me. There's nothing that, my body is not at that ideal shape. I don't feel right. I need to lose weight. And, you go on that hamster wheel of criticizing your own body when you actually should not. And it's like another thing that come up is, you know, I can't be bothered. Like, there's so many other things on my plate right now. I'm juggling family, I'm juggling work, I'm juggling maybe being a caretaker to another family member or a parent. Like, there's so many things happening in my life right now. I can't even be bothered with trying to get dressed, right? Because the whole idea of getting dressed just feels like a lot. And for some persons, I've seen this as well. It's like, yeah, getting dressed is not important. It's not important what I wear. It's important, what I do, and how I go about um, in my career and in my business and all the things that I do. And it's not important. Now, it pains me when I hear those comments, right? Because getting dressed should not feel like a burden. It should not feel like it's another task. It should not make you feel less than. It should actually make you feel empowered. It should make you feel motivated. It should make you feel joy. It should make you feel a sense of love for who you are and how you want to show up. And so I wanted to talk about, like, what is the number one mistake, given all that, those things that come to mind whenever you're thinking about getting dressed, how you feel, and looking at getting dressed as an act. One of the number one mistake that most of you are making whenever you're getting dressed has nothing to do with whether or not someone is going to see you, whether or not, you're at your ideal body, or that it's not even important. It's a matter of, the problem is that getting dressed for you feels performative and situational, right? And here's what I mean by that. So, for instance, today I am feeling incredible. Like, there's just a sense of joy, a sense of peace, a sense of calm that's over me right now. And that can, I can contribute that to, of course, my Christmas coming around. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, the feeling and joy that I get when it comes to the Christmas season, and of course just wanting to show up for myself as well. So I did something different today, which, as you can notice, a lot of persons, whenever they see my hair down, they're like, oh, I've never seen you with your hair down, right? That's because I don't wear it often. And it feels more of like, today, going with the theme of me feeling joyful and wanting to do something different and just wanting to show up a little bit more bubbly and a little bit more energized. I decided to let my hair down, like literally let my hair down. And so the act of me letting my hair down is more of a performative and a situational, right? And here's what I mean by that. So it's performative in that, to go with my mood, to go with the energy that I want to bring and share with you, putting my hair in, the my usual style, which is either putting it in one or putting it in some flat twists and pulling it back, didn't feel like it will help me to match my energy level or help me to elevate the level of energy that I wanted, right? So it becomes, the act of putting my hair down becomes performative in that, yes, I'm wearing it as a performance, not that I'm faking who I am. It's part of how I want to feel and how I want to show up. And it's situational because I don't do it every single day, right? I mean, looking at it right now, it was a little flatter. It was flatter and it had a little bit more curls when I started the morning out. And my hair, it has no behavior. Once it's out in the elements, it will get bigger. And so I don't do it often because, one, it's difficult for me to manage. Like, I can't deal with the fact that it's going to get bigger, the fact that, I have to do these extra things to it, like curl it and maybe spray it if I want to have it down, and constantly making sure that I'm doing this, like keep it flat and it stays, and try not to move my head too much. So I don't do it a lot. So it becomes situational. And so for you, whenever you're getting dressed and you're thinking like, no one is going to see me, so why even get dressed, right? So you are basing your the way you present yourself and the way you show up based on what activity or function you're going into. So if you are, you have some video conference for work or for business that you need to show up for. So that day you look at your calendar and you notice that, okay, I need to be on Zoom, I need to be on camera, or I'm going to a conference, or, something where you need to be present and visible. And so you go into your closet and you start putting things together for that moment, right? And you start using it to perform, like, I need to show up, no one is going to see me, people are going to see me now, so I need to show up in a way that, oh, it looks like I got up and put some effort into getting dressed. And the thing with, when we look at getting dressed, when you're looking at getting dressed as a performative and a situational task, it feels overwhelming whenever you have to get dressed, right? And you also end up making bad decisions when you're getting dressed, right? Because you're thinking, okay, let's go back to that example of being on Zoom. Or maybe you want to do LinkedIn lives like this, right? And you're like, oh, you look at your calendar, need to do a LinkedIn live today because I'm going to be talking about a product or service or something that you want to promote. And so you go into your closet and it's like, you just pull whatever is closest to your hand and you put it on to appear on LinkedIn, right? Or to appear in that activity, that business or career activity that you need to perform. Now, if you what happens there is not, you're just wearing clothes, right? You just putting on clothes and there's no connection. And so whenever you don't have an activity on your calendar that requires you to be visible, then you're just sitting at home in your PJs or in your comfort clothes. And it's like, yeah, whatever. But at the same time, you may be realizing that whenever you have to get dressed for these activities in your life, it's difficult, it's stressful, it's overwhelming. It's like, it's too much, right? And that's because you're not connecting it to what I'm going to be talking about today. Like, what do you do instead of making the act of getting dressed a performative of a situational task, but making it something else, connecting it to something else? And that's what I'm going to share with you. Like, 3 things that you need to start doing to really make getting dressed, because you have to get dressed, right? And you should not get dressed for, like, to perform or to impress or to make everyone feel a certain way about you, but it should be, and that's the first thing, it should be about you. Getting dressed is putting yourself in the center of getting dressed, right? So you're not getting dressed because you have to go on Zoom, or you're going to an interview, or you are taking the kids to school or an activity. You're not getting dressed for that. You're getting dressed for you. And that's where you become the center. Once you put yourself in the center of getting dressed, and not other people's opinion, not as a performance or how you should show up, but you put yourself at the center. Whenever you go into your closet, whenever you walk into your closet, you're looking at, how do I want to feel? How do I want to express myself today? How do I, like, what is my energy level do I want to match today? And that is where, that's important, because when you don't feel like yourself, when your energy level is down, life happens. And so instead of grabbing for that comfort clothes, the clothes that feels like a security blanket but doesn't give you the energy, and you need the energy to actually get your work done, to be productive and to feel productive. When that happens and you grab those pieces because you're not the center, then it basically means, like, your day, you're just going to feel frumpy, right? And I'm going to give you an example of that. So on Monday, I was not feeling my best. Like, my energy was down. I didn't have a zest for anything, but I had some calls that I needed to be on. I needed to show myself. And so kind of like dragged myself into the closet and looked at, like, okay, it was kind of cold. I checked the temperature. It was cold. I'm like, oh, I'm going to wear a sweater. And then I was like, I don't want to do too much. I don't feel like it, because physically and emotionally, I did not feel my best. And so what I did, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to grab this sweater. So I grabbed this striped sweater that I have. Now, every time I put this sweater on, I know I have to do something different with my hair, because the sweater is just, it's just there, right? It's a multicolored striped sweater, and it's like, it's just there. And that's how I was feeling. I was just feeling like I'm just there. And so I put on something that just made me felt that I was there, but I didn't do anything with my hair. And so when I showed up on camera, I just looked at myself and was like, this is not me. I do not feel like myself. And that first call was a bit bumpy. I didn't feel confident. I felt, insecure. I felt I was unmotivated. And so I decided in that moment, it's like, okay, we need to snap out of it so later. And I went and I changed that sweater and I put on something that really made me felt really confident, and really to kind of help me boost and jazz my mood. So that's what you want to do. That first thing that you want to do is put yourself in the center, so that whenever you're getting dressed from a sense of how you want to show up and how you want to feel, and not a matter of it being performative. And so the second thing that you need to do is to focus on how your appearance will get you closer to your goals. Right? How is it your appearance? How is it what you're wearing and how you're showing up will get you closer to your goals? Now, think about this for a moment. Some of us, we know that visibility is important for our business and our career. We know that we have to network. We know that we have to connect. We know that we have to put ourselves out there. But we're hiding behind, our computer screens. I'm going to raise my hand. We're hiding behind staying at home. I work from home. So, I'm going to do everything from home. And so instead of going out and being visible and feeling and letting people feel my energy and meet me as a person, it's like I'm staying at home, right? You stay at home and you hide behind your camera. And ultimately what you want to do is to maybe get a promotion at work, or change jobs, or attract better clients or more clients into your business. But the fact that you are not showing up does not allow you to do that, right? So when you think about getting dressed and your goals, you have to think about it in relation to your goals. if visibility and being coming on camera and creating content and marketing yourself and going to networking events is something that will help you to get closer to your business or your career goals, then obviously what you wear will impact that, right? And if you don't have the right pieces in your closet based on your personal style and based on how you want to show up, you'll always find a reason or an excuse why you don't want to, why you can't go to that event. So for me, for example, like I hate being cold and it's getting cold now. And so as much as I want to be cute, during the winter, I find myself like I would pack clothing on, and it's like that's not how I want to show up. It doesn't feel right to me when I go into, networking or business events, and I'll make the excuse like, oh, it's too cold. When ultimately it's not that it's too cold, it's that I don't feel confident in the way that I'm showing up when it's cold. So I had to take an assessment as to, okay, yes, visibility is important. Yes, I need to go out and network more in person. Yes, I need to build business relationship. What do I need in my closet that's going to facilitate me being able to go out into my community, feel warm and comfortable, and at the same time project my level of confidence and attract, inspire people to have conversations with me, because that's part of my strategy when it comes to networking. I'm super introverted, and I use my clothes to speak on my behalf, right? I use the way I present myself to be that introduction and create that barrier between the awkwardness that I feel. And so I had to take a look at what's in my closet, right? What's in my closet that's going to allow me to show up and not make an excuse as it's cold. That's why I don't want to show up to these events. So I went to my closet, kind of look at, well, like, what are the things that I have and what are the things that I need? I know I needed like a really good pair of boots, because the ones that I have, like I would wear like hugs, I would wear that, but I know that's not how I want to show up to a networking or a business event. So I got a really nice pair of boots that I can wear um, with thick socks so that my feet are warm. Then I look at like what are some styles that I want to recreate that I loved. So I went through my phone, which is I highly recommend that you take pictures of your outfit especially when you feel great in them. Take a photo of it by creating a catalog, because what I did, I went back into my Google photos and kind of look at what I wore past winters, and like when I came on vacation, when I went out and I felt really comfortable in. And I kind of look at those photos and brought those back into my forefront, in terms of looks that I want to recreate, that I felt comfortable wearing, and at the same time I felt warm wearing, but I didn't look like I just packed clothing on me. So when you're getting dressed, is think about how what you're wearing will get you closer to your goals. It's not about impressing anyone, it's not about performing, it's not about wearing clothes based on the situation, but it's wearing clothes based on where you want to go, how you want to show up, and what that means for your career or business. And the third thing that you want to do is to focus on intentionality. And what I mean by that is to really be intentional about the clothes that you're wearing, the clothes that you're buying, and how you're showing up, because whatever you wear will reinforce your mindset. As I talked about earlier, if you joined me late into this conversation, or you're watching a replay, one of the things that I talked about earlier is Monday, where I wasn't feeling my best, and then I wore this sweater that I know I never feel great in, but it was cold and I kind of put it on. And so it didn't help me to step into the mindset that I needed to really crush the call that I was on. So I had to, had a self-awareness moment, and really realizing that I needed to change out of that sweater if I wanted to be productive, if I wanted to stay motivated. So be intentional about the clothes that you're putting on. If you find their clothing that whenever you wear it, you feel you want to feel comfortable, but whenever you're wearing clothing, if you find yourself like you lack motivation, like you don't feel confident, like you are, if you had to go on a call looking the way you're dressed, you would have made an excuse or say, I'm not well put together today, sorry about that. Like, look at the message that whatever you're wearing is signaling to you. If there are particular clothing that you wear that makes you feel confident, like you stand tall. For instance, I saw like someone on one of my recent posts commented that she is short and wearing heels just makes her stand tall and makes her feel confident. And that's something that I can relate to, right? Because I'm 5 feet and I've always said this, I wish I was taller, right? And so wearing heels for me really makes me feel confident. It really makes me feel powerful. Like my walk, the way I walk is completely different. And it's never felt like I only become aware of how I'm walking, like when I tap into it, like, oh, and I walk into a room, I feel more confident, I feel more powerful. So you have to think about the clothing that you're wearing and be more intentional about the clothing that you're wearing and how it affects your mindset, how it affects your level of motivation, how it affects you showing up for yourself, and what does that mean? So going back just to recap what we talked about today, it's like the number one mistake that you're making whenever you're getting dressed is that you're looking at getting dressed as a performative and a situational task where it's like, I'm going to do it if I'm going into a meeting and people are going to see me. I'm going to do it when I lose the weight. I'm going to do it you know um you know when it's a special occasion. And so you're doing it based on other things beside centering it around you. And that's why most of you will find yourself in a style rut, is because you're centering the act of getting dressed around other things, right? External things, people's opinion, money, not having enough money because you think you have to have a large budget to buy expensive clothing. You actually don't. The shirt that I'm wearing right now is 22 US, and it's very, like, the quality of it is very good. So you don't have to have a lot of money to buy clothing, add clothing to your wardrobe. You just need to know what your personal style is and what how you want to express yourself. And so I want you to really think about getting dressed not as performative or situational, and more centered around you, how you want to show up, how you want to feel. And it becomes a natural thing for you, regardless of what you decide to wear. You always dress for you and not anyone else. And of course, you always keep in mind, like, how am I showing up? How does this help me to get closer to my goal, right? If I'm not feeling confident in the clothing that I'm wearing, more than likely it's going to affect me coming on Zoom. It's going to affect me doing videos because I'm like, oh, I don't feel great. I don't, but it's like, it's going to affect you, right? Ultimately, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your mindset as well. It's going to affect your motivation. So I hope these strategies were helpful for you, and that you start looking at getting dressed as something that you do for yourself to be able to achieve the goals that you want. So thank you all very much for joining me. I always appreciate your support. I always appreciate you being here. So I'm super, super grateful. If we haven't connected as yet, definitely hit that connect button on my LinkedIn or send me a DM, or you can email me if you have a question as well at solida@styletooimpact.com. Thank you all very much for joining. Have a fantastic day and happy holidays. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and I hope that you have a wonderful and fantastic day. Take care. Bye.